Hi everyone, this is Rachel Kleinman from rwcrafts.com. I'm excited to be a part of the Hero Arts Spring Video Hop today. Today I will be sharing how to make this card. I'll be using some watercolors and these brand new spring release fancy dies. So right here is the Morning Glory fancy die, and then you have the Trellis Window die and the Rabbit Pear fancy die. So those will be the main pieces that I'm using today. I'm going to start with this Morning Glory die. I will be die cutting it twice from watercolor paper. So this is Hero Arts watercolor paper, and it is such a clean die. It comes out very easily. Since it is on watercolor paper, which is thicker, I did run it through my machine a couple of times. But we will just peel that out. Get your pokey sticks ready to poke out all those little pieces, but it's really not that bad. And next I will be die cutting the trellis window. So first I cut out just the frame from sand cardstock, and now I am lining up the trellis portion to cut that out. And now you have that beautiful like garden gate. It's so pretty. There's so many different ways you could use that too. I've seen some great samples from the team already. It's a great die to have. And next, this cute little bunny pear. I'm going to be using the bunny that is sitting down, and I did also die cut him from watercolor paper. Next, I'm pulling out some of my liquid watercolors. These are all from Hero Arts. So for the vines, I am using the neon bright green watercolor and also the leaf watercolor. And I have my handy little palette there. And I just sprayed some water onto one on the side. You don't need a lot of water, but it's nice to have it handy. So first I'm going through all of the vines to paint them with that bright neon green. And while the watercolor paper is still wet and the paint is still wet, I'm going to just go over it with the darker green that's called leaf. And you see I'm just dabbing it on. This is not fancy painting in any way. You're just putting some little dabs to mix it together, give it some texture, and also to not have neon green vines because that's not that realistic, although it might look cool. And for the Morning Glory flowers, I am painting them with the neon bright purple. I did go over the purple a few times because I wanted the flowers to be a much more saturated, darker color. And now in the center, a lot of Morning Glories have almost like a blue in the middle, so I'm using the indigo liquid watercolor also from Hero Arts. So I'm just going through all of the centers of the flower, and I did do it twice. And there's the finished painting. And now we will go on to our sweet little bunny. With the bunny, I won't be doing that much watercoloring on him. I will just be shading the edges. So I'm using granite ink with the Hero Arts blending brush to just go along the edges. Super simple. And I do not have a good light pink liquid watercolor, but the reactive inks from Hero Arts work just fine. So I'm using the taffy reactive ink to simply color his little nose and the inside of his ear there. And to help make his eye pop, I'm using some black gel pen. I do like to kind of warm up my gel pens on my hand. I have a pretty consistent little marking on my hand there. And this is a very old school product, but you probably own it. Liquid applique. It is perfect for bunny tails, and it is perfect for Santa hats or anything else that you might need a little puff on. So you put the liquid applique on the little tail, and then you heat it with your heat gun, and it just puffs right up. It's really cute. Looks like puffy cottage cheese. For the background, I am using the Rain Texture Cling stamped in Arctic ink. Since Arctic ink is such a light color, I did stamp it twice. And that Rain Texture Cling is actually from the big spring hero release last year, but it is such a great multi-use background. You will definitely use it all year long. And now it's time to really weave those vines in, I was thinking of my backyard. There it is. There's our little archway in the backyard. So that's what I was trying to mimic with putting the vines through there. And it is helpful to cut some of the leaves, and that helps it like tuck in and out of all the different weavings from the gate as well. And once you have the vines placed how you like them, just add some drops of glue to hold it in place. And then you can move on to putting glue all over. And it just goes straight onto that background panel that we stamped. I did my best to center it. I'm just going to eyeball things. I'm winging it here. And the little bunny, I put foam dots on the back of him so he just has some dimension. I placed him right there, and that flower just happens to be sticking up. It looks like he's definitely smelling the flowers, which is very cute. This is another stamp set from the release. It's the Garden Tool and Flower stamp set. It does also come with a matching die, but I am simply using this just for the sentiment. So I only stamped the hello in intense black ink, and I'm just trimming it up in a little border, and we'll glue that directly down to the card. And that finishes my spring card today. It's so much fun to watercolor these beautiful floral images that are getting, or floral dies that are getting released right now. And I encourage you to do the same. Thank you so much again. And remember to leave comments on all of the YouTube channels along the hop, because every comment that you leave is an entry to win a $50 Hero Arts gift card. So you don't want to miss out on that. And thank you so much. Again, I'm Rachel Kleinman from rwcrafts.com, and I'm so glad to have you here. Thank you.